This is the most supreme feud the music industry has ever seen. Mary Wilson claimed that the Supremes were all treated equally until Diana Ross started having a love affair with the head of Motown Records, Berry Gordy. Berry said that Diana had the talent to back up his favoritism, and Diana claimed that Mary was playing the victim. Let's revisit the time that Diana Ross announced a reunion tour for Diana Ross and the Supremes, and it caused a rift that the Supremes would never come back from. This is the supreme feud of Diana Ross and Mary Wilson. You see, before the Supremes changed their name to Diana Ross and the Supremes, they were actually known as the Premettes. The group consisted of 4 women: Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, Florence Ballard, and Betty McLown. In 1961, they would sign with Motown, change their name to the Supremes, and Betty would leave the group. In 1964, they would have their first of 12 #1 hits, putting Motown on the map and becoming one of the most famous girl groups of all time. But according to founding member Mary Wilson, she said that at the height of their fame, things took a turn for the worse when Diana started having a love affair with the head of Motown, Berry Gordy. She said that before all of this, all 3 women were treated equally, but eventually Diana was being pushed to the front and the other 2 women were being pushed to the background. She said the producers were scared to offer the other 2 women songs, and that all songs immediately went to Diana first, and that during interviews with all 3 women, interviewers would only talk to Diana and not the other 2 women, which she ended up finding out later on that the interviewers were told to do this. Now, even though Berry Gordy and Diana Ross were intimately involved, Berry Gordy was very honest about this over the years and said that he always favorited Diana over the other 2 women, and that Diana had a magic to her voice that Mary didn't, and that even if he did play favoritism towards her, Diana had the talent to back it up. Now, this is a very controversial statement for Supreme fans who felt like Florence Ballard was the vocalist of the group, but by 1967, Berry Gordy decided to change the name of the group to Diana Ross and the Supremes. And because of Florence Ballard was said to fall into hard times and started to have issues with drinking, which led to her getting fired from the group. Now, Florence would go on to be replaced by Cindy Birdsong, but this would be the beginning of the end for Diana Ross and the Supremes as we knew it. In 1970, Diana Ross would leave the group, becoming a solo act, and Mary Wilson would continue on with the Supremes for 7 more years until Motown would no longer let her legally use the name. And unfortunately, in 1976, Florence Ballard would pass away. Mary says she passed away brought on by the heartbreak from being fired from the group, and that she refused to let the same thing happen to her. Which is why 30 years later, when Diana Ross and the Supremes announced that they were going to be doing a reunion tour, and Mary was being offered $2 to $3 million, while Diana Ross was being offered $15 to $20 million for the same tour, all hell broke loose. And Diana Ross and the Supremes would go on tour with the women that Mary hired after Diana had left the group. Part 2 is coming.